can begin. Then the first presentation will be done by Doris RAGETTLI and Gil HILLEARD from Rights of Mother Earth. A quick but necessary overview of existing and emerging petitions through the world will incorporate the rights of nature. You have 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here and your interest in rights of nature. In this first presentation, we'll give you an overview, first of all, of how nature is doing today on Earth, and give you the bottom line reasons why rights of nature is needed, and needed urgently. Next, we will outline where rights of nature has already been adopted at various levels around the world. Then we'll tell you about the various initiatives and campaigns for rights of nature that are currently being implemented, including the work being done at the UN. And last, and probably not for the last time this afternoon, we will ask you to participate. We ask you to listen to all the speakers this afternoon from the standpoint of looking at how you can contribute to rights of nature in any way that you feel appropriate. So let's start by looking at some of the facts about how the natural world is doing today. There are many ways we could do this, but one way of doing this, in a simple and dramatic way, is to consider the concept of ecological footprint. And I invite you to watch a short video which starts with Dr. Mattis Vakanaga, President of the Global Footprint Network, explaining what the ecological footprint is.
Ecological footprint is an accounting tool, not for money, but for ecological resources. So it compares how much nature we have and how much nature we use. Over the last 40 years, we've just had one planet. That's why the line of supply is very, very horizontal. Humanity has been continuously increasing its resource demand to the extent that by the 70s we started to use more than what nature can regenerate. Currently, we're using at least 50% more than what nature can relieve. This means it takes about 1 year and 6 months to regenerate what people use in 1 year. So we are in a global overshoot.
Overshoot can be thought of as living off of your credit card. You know, humanity is living off its ecological credit card. If we use more than nature can keep up with, we actually start to erode the natural capital that life depends on.
Currently, if everyone on Earth lived as North Americans do, we'd need 4 Earths. For everyone to live as Europeans do would take 2.5 Earths. In other regions, people are living beyond the capacity of 1 Earth as well. China and India are presently living just around the 1 Earth level. But given the rapid industrialization and economic growth of both countries, that's sure to change.
A key component of humanity's ecological footprint is the burning of fossil fuels. The carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere is causing the Earth's surface to heat up, disrupting global climate patterns. In a series of comprehensive reports, the largest group of scientists ever assembled on a single issue has warned that unless we act now, it is extremely likely that climate change will have devastating impacts in the future of life on Earth.
So, why do we need rights of nature? As the video made clear, we have now passed the stage at which nature can fully regenerate itself And this situation is clearly not sustainable. It also jeopardizes the planet and everything and everyone who lives on it. One fundamental reason for the need for rights of nature is actually very simple. As a species, we have never voluntarily moderated our global demands on nature, because we have had never to do so, but we do now. We need rights of nature to slow down, stop, and hopefully reverse this process. We're not against economic growth in principle, but any economic activity needs to be done responsibly and with regard to the effects of it on nature. Not to do so increasingly puts life on Earth at risk. A related reason for rights of nature, made clear in this video, is that since the Industrial Revolution, humanity started to use nature mainly as a resource. It is imperative for humans to interact with nature as a living entity with rights of her own. Human well-being and prosperity can no longer be at the Earth's expense. The well-being and prosperity of both humans and the Earth is clearly intertwined. And for many people, this will require a fundamental change in mindset. Not facts, in mindset. And this is what we really need to wake up to. The legal reasons for rights of nature will be explained to you by Nunta Iko later this afternoon in her presentation. And now I'd like to hand over to Doris RAGETTLI, who will tell you what is happening concerning rights of nature around the world.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Rights of nature is happening. Slowly, but it is happening in different places, in different ways around the world. The following slides show you some examples of places where rights of nature has been recognized and is starting to be implemented. At national levels, in essence, there are two countries that have rights of nature at national levels. One of them is Ecuador, which has included rights of nature in their national constitution in 2008. The other one is Bolivia, which implemented the law of Buen Vivir in 2013. At municipal level, in the US, 36 communities have already introduced rights of nature ordinances. These are local laws passed by the municipal government. In Mexico, in 2013, Mexico City has introduced an environmental law for the protection of the earth. At court level, New Zealand, Costa Rica, and Ecuador recognize nature as a living being. This kind of recognition has provided protection from harmful human activities in at least 3 recent court cases. Customary laws. In many African countries, customary laws related to nature are being integrated in the legal system. Such countries include Kenya, South Africa, Ethiopia, Uganda, and many others. At the UN level, the United Nations founded the Department in Harmony with Nature in 2009 in order to prepare for the Earth Summit Rio+20. This department, amongst other things, keeps track of the progress of rights of nature. I really invite you to check out this webpage. It's actually, I find it very inspiring. It's harmonywithnature.un.org. Now, let me tell you about the different campaigns for rights of nature that are going on right now. In Colombia, Antigua, who you see on this slide, has launched an official national petition for the acceptance of rights of nature in Colombia. In Europe, Nunta Ito is heading an official European Citizens Initiative to propose the acceptance of rights of nature to the European Parliament. The team, which there are many of you in here, wonderful, is currently in the preparation phase of the campaign. It will be launched in 2016, and you will hear more about this campaign by Mumta Ito, who will be speaking later. Globally, as a contribution from the civil society, I founded the Global Signature Campaign for Rights of Mother Earth in 2009. The intention was to provide a tool for people from around the world to be the voice for Mother Earth at the Earth Summit Rio+20 in 2012. We requested the acceptance and implementation of the Universal Declaration of Rights of Mother Earth by the UN and all nations. Let's just take a quick look at one aspect of the history of the United Nations. Oops. Oh well. The adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the UN General Assembly in 1948 was a landmark to end the abuse of people. Today, in order to stop the abuse of nature, we need the same landmark declaration for rights of nature. At the Earth Summit Rio+20 in 2012, we handed almost 117,000 signatures requesting the adoption of the Universal Declaration of the Rights of Mother Earth to the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. The declaration we used was the one that came out of the People's Conference on Climate Change held in Cochabamba, Bolivia in 2010. Today we have almost 827,000 signatures for rights of nature, representing people from over 123 countries worldwide. Our next goal with this campaign is to deliver 1 million signatures for rights of nature to the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon again at the UN Climate Change Conference in Paris next year in November. We welcome your participation in that. And now to conclude this presentation, I hand back over to Gil. Thank you.
So, what action can you take? Well, first, as an individual, we invite you to sign a global petition for rights of Mother Earth, and invite your friends and colleagues to do the same. On this slide, you can see our website, on which you'll find a global petition. Second, we ask you to take a first step, whatever that might mean to you, on behalf of your country, to incorporate rights of nature into your country's legal structure. And third, if you would like to participate in any way, please come and talk to any of us later. We will be delighted to talk with you and have a conversation about how we can support you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Keep your questions on paper, do not forget them, and we continue with the second presentation. Please cut the